Okay, good morning everybody and welcome to this morning's webinar, the first webinar of our IT Tools Training Day. So this is the third IT Tools Training Day that we have this year. Two topics on the agenda today. So this morning my colleague Elisa will present you the updated version of the working area on the Projex Online application. So welcome. Let me hand over the floor to Elisa. She is the expert on the topic and will be explaining you the working area this morning. Thank you, Elisa.
Thank you, Els, and good morning, everybody. So, here is the agenda of our training today. First of all, I will just give you some background information about the working area, and what I will do today is to focus on what's new in this new version that was released earlier this year. And of course, this new information impacts the creation of work item. I will then continue and show you online the new features that we have included, and we will have time for your question at the end of the presentation. So, what's the working area for if you are a new TC secretary? The working area is an application that is password protected, used to submit your technical committee decisions currently related to one or several work items. And this tool allows you to prepare your decisions and to submit them directly to CCMC. How can you access this tool? Is via Projex Online. If you have access to the working area, you should see a red button called Working Area on the top right. And who can use this tool is currently the CEN-TC secretaries, SCTC secretaries, and also some secretary supports, but only if we are if we receive directly a request to projects@cenelec.eu. Regarding secretaries, as soon as we are informed of a new assignment, we systematically give access to the working area. If it's not the case, please do not hesitate to contact us to this email address. What are the benefits of this tool? So it guides the CEN-TC secretary, and because the business rules are enforced by the tool, and it guides you question per question. You have also the possibility to prepare your decision and to generate the form via the tool with all necessary information, and use this form to launch your committee internal balloting. You have also the assurance that decision is being treated. So the next day you receive an email confirmation, and also it gives you a quicker response because we have several types of decisions that are processed automatically overnight. And the last but not least, the decision form is available on Projex Online if you go in the work item page, tab decision. So now let's see what's new in this new version. In 2016, the CEN-BT decided to integrate in the working area additional questions related to the creation of new work items. So the Cenelec BT Working Group 1 created a new work item approval proposal form, and these questions were not available on working area up to now. So the BT decided to integrate them. But also on 2017, the new work item proposal form was revised, and this revised version was approved by the BT with new questions and we had also to add them into the working area. So these are the type of decisions that are impacted by the change. So we have the three first related to the creation of work item. It's the adoption of a new work item. So you create an active work item into your CENTC work program. The adoption of a preliminary work item. So you create a work item at preliminary stage in your TC work program. And then the activation of such preliminary work item. So now I'm going to show you in live what's new in the working area. So I'm connected into the test environment of Projex Online, and I have a button here, working area. Here it is. So first I need to select my technical body. Then to select a decision groups, because we have a lot of type of decisions, so we decided to regroup them into 5 specific groups. So for this demo, I choose creation of a work item. Then I can select the decision type, and you have the 3 that I've just mentioned before. And I will take the adoption of new work item because we have exactly the same questions in the other 2. Then I can add a decision reference, for example, and the decision year, 2018. I can already choose a decision date, but it's not compulsory at that moment, but still, let's choose it. And I can also specify an end document for this new work item proposal. And then I click on Start. So the 2 first questions have not changed. You still need to choose the type of deliverable, if it's an EN, a CENTS, or a CENTR. Then you need to specify if this new item will correspond to a new project, or the amendment of an existing EN, the revision of an existing EN. You have also the possibility to specify if it's the conversion of a CENTS into a new standard, or the conversion of an ENV into a standard. You see that some questions are grayed out. It's because of the question above. If I change the type of deliverable, you see that the system proposes new options. So let's take, for example, the revision. And here we go. We have our first new question. You need now to explain the purpose and give a justification for this proposal. So just typing or copy paste if you have it in a Word document or PDF document. And then I can jump into the next section, which is new as well and relates to stakeholder categories impacted by this new proposal. So if this question is relevant, you can choose one or several stakeholders category. For example, and if you have chosen stakeholder categories, you need to explain how these stakeholders will benefit or will be impacted by the proposed deliverable. In case this question is not relevant to your work item, you just need to click on none of the above, and you see that question 5 will be then grayed out. Section 3 concerns the drafting body, the title and the scope. Here some changes as well. Before you only could choose a drafting body already existing in our database, and it's still the case. You can choose it in the drop down, or if a new drafting body has been created for that specific project, you can also mention here. So let's take title, and if there are some convener already appointed for that working groups, you can also mention it here. Then question 7, it's about the title. We have here added the French and the German title, and you see that you have sometimes information already automatically added in the relevant fields. It's because I have chosen before that this new work item will be the revision of an existing EN. So the tool has already taken the titles available for that existing EN. But of course you can still modify them if you need it. Then you have to give the scope. It has taken the scope of the revised standard, and you can change it. Another new question, you can specify that there is already a project leader assigned for that specific project, but you're not obliged. It's an optional question, but you just need to type the email, the name, and include some contact details so that we can create that person in our database. Then you can jump on a new section related to accessibility issues. So in that question, you need to specify if your new project will if accessibility aspects will be relevant for this new project or are not relevant for this new project. And depending on the option that you choose, you need to give some explanation. For example, here you need to indicate which accessibility aspects are relevant for your new work item. Or if you choose the other option, you need to explain why accessibility aspects do not apply for the current proposal. Etc. Then we can go on section 5, related to environmental issues. Here, no changes. You can choose one or several environmental aspects and indicate how you plan to address these environmental aspects. So, nothing new here. Then we can go on section 6, related to Vienna Agreement or adoption of existing document from other organizations. No changes here neither. You have to specify if your new projects will be developed under parallel procedures, so Vienna Agreement procedures, no or expected leads, or yes, parallel ISO lead, and here we need some specific information about the ISO project. Or in case there is no parallel procedures, but you need to adopt an ISO published document, or if the project is based into a document from another organization, you can also indicate it here in this question. Then let's go into section 7, which is new as well and relates to a link with European research or innovation project. Here you just need to indicate if there is some such link with your new project, no or yes. And if yes, you need to give us information about that specific research or innovation project. You have the code, the acronym, and the title. Next section, section 8, it's about the track and a new question about the technical committee plan. So first you need to choose the track, and then you need to provide target dates for some key stages, meaning the dispatch of the first working draft, the dispatch of inquiry draft, and the dispatch of formal vote draft. This is for inquiry and formal vote. In case you have chosen a TS or a TR above, you will need to fulfill other key stages. So you can enter a specific date here, or you can use this little tool here to calculate the target dates for you. So let's say that you will create your new work item today. So you can choose the project start date, that is today, and then click on calculate target dates, and the tool will fill it in automatically for you, but still you can change the date. Please note that if you change the date and decide to submit the work item today, these dates cannot go beyond the default time frame. So you will receive an error message if you put, for example, 2018 10:30. You cannot go beyond the default time frame decided by BT. So, section 9, we have added a new question here. So you still need to indicate links with a standardization request, directive or regulation, but also you need to indicate relation to other legislations or established public policies. So no or yes. If you tick yes, you need to specify which ones. And again, a new section related to intellectual property rights, IPRs. You need to indicate if your work item is covered by IPRs or not. And if yes, please provide full information about it. And we are almost at the end. So you need to submit at least your decision. You need to select at least 5 committed countries. And also you need to specify the voting results. So in this case I chosen a revision, so it could be a weighted majority or a simple majority. Then you have the possibility to preview all your data that you have added in all questions. And also you can generate a Word or a PDF. And I would like to generate at least a Word to show you that we have also changed the form so that it is aligned with the new work item proposal form that you need to use to circulate committee internal balloting. And then the last thing to do, so you need to review the decision reference, the date of the decision, the and document. This is optional before submit your decision to CCMC, and then you click on submit to CCMC. And you receive a confirmation message. This is for the new questions. So let's review that. Let's check if I haven't forgotten nothing. So the first new question is the purpose and the justification for this new proposal. It is a compulsory question. You need to fill it in. Second new question, it's about stakeholder categories. So you need to select one or several stakeholder categories or none of the above. The question 5 is compulsory only if you select at least one stakeholder category. The question related to the drafting body is, of course, compulsory, but you are not obliged now to select an existing drafting body, existing in our database. You can indicate if it's a new drafting body. The titles. So before we had only the English titles, but now we have added the French and the German titles. These fields are optional. Only the English title is compulsory. Fifth new question, it's about the proposed project leader. It is an optional question. Then we have a question about accessibility aspects. You need to specify if they are relevant or not for this new work item. This question is compulsory in case of active work item to be registered in the TC work program. However, this question is optional for adoption of preliminary work item. Then we have a new question regarding a link with European or innovation project. It is a compulsory question. You need to indicate if there are some such link or not. Then a technical body plan. So for active work items to be registered, you need to specify the target dates for these 3 key stages in case of inquiry or formal vote, or these 2 in case of vote on TS or TR. In case of creation of preliminary work item, you will not be obliged to indicate these dates already, but only the date regarding the activation of such preliminary work item. Please note that the target dates cannot go beyond the default time frame. Next new question is about relation to other legislation or public policy. And we have also a new question on intellectual property rights, which is compulsory. You need to indicate if there are such link with IPRs or not. And we have also a new form for creation of work items. So, if you have any question, we have a user guide which is available online in the section help, and also an FAQ page. In case of business questions, please contact your CCMC contact point. I think all TC Secretary has recently received an email about your current CCMC contact point at CCMC. Right. For any data question, please contact my colleagues at tseminaries@cenelec.eu. And for any technical issues or functional issues, please contact the project team at project@cenelec.eu. This is the end of my presentation. If you have any question, please feel free to add them in the question box.
Yes, some people have been doing that already, Elisa. Thank you very much for the presentation. It was very clear to me. I hope it was for everybody else as well. Let us go through the questions first, so please hang on the line. We will discuss between us and we come back to you with an answer on the first question in a few seconds. Thank you. Okay, first question that probably concerns all of you, maybe at one point. The question is if the file is, or at least the questions are also available in a print-friendly version, because sometimes I want to consult with a colleague while filling in the form. So, Elisa, please, can you show us how that is possible?
Yes, of course. So I'll come back into the adoption of new work item page. So you see that at the end, at any moment, you can generate a Word or a PDF form. I think I still have mine here, yeah, the one I generated before. And you are of course free to print it and to show it to your colleague. And you don't need to fill in all the questions. You can generate that Word or PDF at any moment.
Okay, thank you, Elisa. Let's go to the next question. Hang on a few seconds now. Okay, next question here. It states that usually I prepare a decision on the working area and I wait for the end of the ballot to submit it to CCMC. At this time, it is not possible to switch from the first line, so the first section, to the last section, review your data and submit to CCMC. Is that now possible, Elisa?
No, currently it is still not possible to jump and ignore some section. You need to go through each of them. The reason for that is because, as you see, I can show it here. I chose EN, and you see that some options depends on the questions that you have selected above. This is one of the reasons why we have developed the tool as it is now. And also it is because each questions shall be filled in. They are all compulsory. So this is why we decided to keep it like this, because you need to go through each question and to give all relevant information. Otherwise, the work item will not be created properly. I hope this answers your question.
I think so, Lisa. Thank you. Okay, next question that might be of general interest here is the question is, can we use the tool as a support for the TC decision, or is it only for the submission to CCMC?
Yes, of course. You can use this tool to prepare TC decision, so you don't need to submit it right away. So you have at the end of the page a save button, so you can already complete some information that you already have and click on save to submit that decision and come back to it later. And also you have the possibility to generate the Word and the PDF at any moment and to include it into your committee internal ballot for the new work item proposal. And then once the decision is taken, you can come back to that decision. I will show you how. So at the working area homepage, we have a section work on saved and not submitted decision. So when you click on save, I don't have any here. Let's take another TC. So you have a list of all your saved decision and you can click on it and press modify. And then you come back into the adoption of new work item page and you can complete all or modify the existing information, complete, for example, the SEN member commitment and the results of vote, and then submit your decision to CCMC.
Okay, thank you, Elisa. That clarifies a lot. Let us go to the next question. Just hang on another second. Okay, next question is, how can you change the wrong decision number you entered before? Elisa, please.
So this is possible only if you have not submitted your decision yet to CCMC. So if you remember at the homepage of the working area, I have already the possibility to enter a decision reference, but before submitting the decision, I have the possibility to modify that decision reference. So you just need to go to the end. So the tool obliged me to verify that I have completed everything before going to the end. And it's here. So before clicking on the button submit, I have the possibility to change it here, for example.
Okay, that's clear. Thank you. Okay, next question. The question is, can we add the name of the project leader afterwards, meaning if a project has been already added to the Projex Online application?
If if you are not if you do not know the project leader for that specific work item when you submit your decision, you can of course contact our data service team to add this project leader manually, but it won't be possible anymore via the tool.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next question, it's a short one. The question is, has the TRTS vote been replaced by an inquiry vote?
No, it's not the case. For example, I'm wondering if I didn't choose a TSTR here. So you see, if I choose a TS or TR as a new work item deliverable, I only have the possibility to choose a vote on TSTR by correspondence for the track, and for the key stages, I will only be allowed to enter the dispatch of the first working draft. And oops, oh yes, of course, you're right. There is an error here.
A typo.
Yeah, a typo. Yeah, indeed. So I will ask my colleague to change it. But of course, it's a TS or TR vote. It's not a query. Sorry for that mistake.
Okay, great. Thanks for the feedback, by the way. Let's have a look at the other questions. Okay, a question related to Section 9 about the information for regulations, etc. So the question is, what happens with that information that we implement in Section 9?
So this information and all new questions also, by the way, are entered in our central database here in CCMC. Regarding standardization requests and the directive regulations, they are visible on Projex Online already. It is not the case currently for the question 20, and we will investigate if this information could also be added into Projex Online. Regarding directive and regulation, of course, if there are some directive to be cited in the official journal, all relevant actions will be taken. So in case we need a consulted assessment or to send that specific EN into the commission, it is important that all necessary information is added into that question, of course.
Okay, thank you, Elisa. In fact, the similar question appears in relation to Section 7. What does happen with that information?
Okay. Here the same. This information is added into our database, and it is already available into Projex Online, by the way. But regarding business matters, I will need to refer to my colleagues who are in charge of link with European Research and Innovation Project for more information. So please do not hesitate to tell me if you need more information about that specific matter.
Yes, thank you. Okay, next question is how can I delete a complete decision I've entered, for example, when I made the same decision twice?
So this is only possible in case of saved decision. So if you have submitted the same decision twice, unfortunately, it's no longer possible to delete it. But if the decision has not been submitted yet, you just need to go on the section work on save and not submitted decision, select the decision you want to delete, and just click on the delete button. But in case of submitted decision, if it's an error, you need to contact our digital production team at the email address I showed you just before this one, tcminares@cenelec.eu.
Okay, thank you, Elisa. Next question is related to the creation of a new draft decision. So if we need to modify it, the decision doesn't appear immediately in the list of saved decision. Do you have any recommendations for that, Elisa?
Okay, normally when you save a decision, it should appear directly into that section. So if it's not the case, please send us a screenshot so that we have an example and we can investigate what the problem is. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, next question. What is the start date? Is it the date when the ballot is over and you have an accepted result?
No, the start date is the date that the work item is created into our database. So it's the 1099 date. This is the start date, and this is the date that we take to calculate the default time frame. And of course, it should be the date to calculate your technical body plan target dates as well.
Okay, thank you, Elisa. Okay, next question is how do I propose for a Vienna agreement with a Sen lead? Elisa, can you show that on screen?
Yes. So let's go back to the form adoption of a new work item. So I'm going to section related to a Vienna agreement. Just a few seconds. Okay, here we are. So you see that regarding the question on Vienna agreement, you need to select one of the two options, no or expected send lead, or yes parallel ISO lead. In case of send leads, actually you need to select this option and to create a send homegrown work item as a first step. Why do we have to do that? It's because a project under Vienna Agreement send lead first need to be confirmed by ISO. So in that case, what we suggest is to either enter in the title the reference of the equivalent ISO project, if you have it, or to contact our digital production team and tell them that that specific work items needs to go into a parallel procedure send lead. So again, I showed the email address of our digital production team. It's tcminrs@cenelec.eu.
Okay, thank you, Elisa. Okay, somebody's asking Elisa to repeat what was said about the target date. So what was again the start date?
So the start date is the date of the stage code 1099 in Projex Online. So it's the date the work item is created into our database, and practically it's the date you push the button submit to CCMC via the working area. It is that start date.
Okay, thank you.